Uh,
It's just exposure therapy.
exposure to mean things. All right. Okay. I think we're actually live now. Maybe YouTube is loading. I think it's good. Okay, we're live. Excellent.
Okay.
Hulk is first. Hi, Hulk.
Hi,
How
Hulk.
are you? Yes, you are live. Um, and it's Gwen.
Hulk is such a
Hello.
great member of the community. Hulk's been around forever and helps everybody all the time.
Hulk's great. And you're going to get to meet him at the Polyglot
Yeah,
Gathering.
that's gonna be super cool.
Yes. I'm so glad I convinced you to go.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. We're going to go to the Czech
But Ben, I have
Republic.
so much work to do.
Yeah. You should just hide in the hotel the whole time.
No, I think we're past that stage of my heads downness.
Good. Um, we'll go have lots of Czech beer and food and other things.
Are we
It's gonna
gonna
be fun.
try to compete with the natives? I hear that the Czech people consume more alcohol per capita than anyone else in the world.
Yeah, it's like a lot more.
Yeah,
Not alcohol, beer specifically.
beer specifically. Okay,
Technically, other Eastern European countries have higher like alcohol consumption because of like
drinking straight vodka.
yeah, literally. Um, but the actual like per capita consumption is something like 2 liters of beer per day. Um,
So much beer.
it was just so much beer. Like a decent chunk are like tourists. I think it does like get counted in there. But like that doesn't fully take into the picture of how much beer is consumed there. But like a lot of people will just have a beer with lunch and a beer with dinner, right? And that's your 2 liters right there.
What's
Um,
the old saying? I think it was like a Ben Franklin quote that's like, um, in beer there is freedom, in water there's bacteria.
in beer, there's freedom. I love it. And the beer's really good there, so that'll be
Yep.
fun. It comes out so cold in a nice clean glass with lots of the thick foamy head. Oh, it's so good.
But I feel like they mostly focus on like lagers and pilsners, right? They're not big into ales.
Well, yeah, and the fun fact that I learned when I was there at a tour of the Pilsner Urquell factory um, is that all light beer was invented in the Czech Republic, right? So the Pilsner style is what, like, they don't call it Pilsner. They don't have a term for Pilsner. That's just beer. Um, but the rest of, so anything that's lagers and Pilsners and everything comes from that style of beer, comes from the Czech Republic
Oh,
originally. And the style of it's like triple, not distill. That's the wrong word. I forget the exact what it was. What it was. I don't make
brewed
beer.
and fermented.
Yeah, it's not. It's like the purification or something like that.
Oh,
So
sure.
if you
Like
ever
purified
have a
wheat.
light beer, like there was no light beer before this kind of beer. So if you ever
Mhm.
have a light beer, it is from that original method invented like a billion years ago in the Czech Republic. That's the fun fact.
Wow, didn't realize they were a billion years old.
Yeah, it's a lot older than you think.
Yep.
You would be
They
like
were
sort
brewing
of
beer
think,
before
oh
the
yeah,
dinosaurs.
yeah, they were. Um, Speaking of before the dinosaurs, no, that's not a good segue. I've been saving this because I wanted to tell you that I made tamales last week, handmade them,
Oh
because I
my
know you
God.
love tamales.
I
Um,
freaking love tamales.
yeah, it was. I've never made tamales before. It was definitely a long. Like I see why people would be like try it once and then never do it again.
Mhm.
Because it
It's an
is.
all-day event.
Yeah, and it's not hard. It's just slow. Like to make the batter. Yeah, it's not really a dough. I'd call it a batter because it's
La masa.
thinnish. Yeah, it's because masa is the same, right? But to make the batter, you have to beat the lard for at least 5 minutes, and then to put in everything in, then it goes you at least 20 minutes more of just with the hand mixer,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and then you have to fill each one by hand, which is just very slow.
Hmm.
Um, but they came out quite good. Um, the learnings are like definitely a lot more stuff and sauce in them for sure. Because if they're not saucy enough, they're just not as good. It's too much
You can
less,
always put
less sauce.
sauce on top.
Yes, which is something that I did to help them.
Yeah.
But I tried making some fun ones. Like I did one with chili, like American style chili. That was really good if it has enough sauce.
Hmm.
So I'm definitely gonna make like chili tamales again. Those are
Nice.
fantastic. Um, but like the ones just with the more sauce that you had in them, the better. The sweet ones I made were like cranberry sauce, like Thanksgiving cranberry sauce. I homemade
Okay.
it. It's so good. And then cranberry sauce, but with cream cheese in a tamale. Mm, those are it's probably the best ones. They're so good.
Did you, because I know that sometimes they make like sweet tamales with like sweet corn, and they'll like leave corn kernels in it to make it the batter a little sweeter.
Yeah, I
Um,
haven't. I just put sugar. I did
okay, I
everything
guess
else
you could just put
normal.
sugar. Yeah.
Yeah, because actual sweet corn is not super common here. You can buy it.
Mhm.
I did get some because I wanted like some sweet corn, but it's all like white corn is what's
Right,
really
okay.
really common here for
Got it.
esquites, everything. um, that's all that I really had to say.
Okay.
um, talk about
How's your Mandarin learning going?
really good. I'm having a really good time. I just passed 200 hours. I think literally yesterday. Um, I think let me double check because we have a nice tracker app that has my numbers in it. But I'm pretty sure I passed 200 hours and I finished my very first like TV show. It's like a short drama. Yeah, 200 hours yesterday. I finished a TV show yesterday for the first like native thing really. It was definitely hard, mostly for speed, but then also there was more colloquial like isms and stuff. I knew about 80 to 85% of the words in every episode, which was cool.
Wow, that's
But
impressive for
like,
just 200 hours.
right? But that doesn't actually mean that you always understand the sentences because a
Oh,
lot of
of
them
course.
have like, yeah, there's
80%
just,
sentence comprehension is very different.
yeah, yes, exactly. Um, but, and because some of them, I'm like, I can look at all these words, but I have no idea what you're trying to say here. And then I look at and thankfully it had English subtitles as well, so I could like double check. Um, and it helped me to realize some very useful things. So like I learned a good amount from it.
Awesome.
I started learning Mandarin officially about 6 months ago, I think. If I have it on my calendar, but it's like 5.5, 6 months, something like that. Yeah, when I have it on my calendar, what's my 6 month? Um,
So you're doing
yeah, six
about
months will
an
be.
hour a day, hour and a half a day?
Mhm. Yeah, I recently bumped it up to an hour and a half a day. My 6 months of learning is in 9 days, so basically 6 months. And it's been really fun. I've also been doing a lot of reading with the reader app Do Chinese, which has been also fantastic, and lots of like words with Anki and stuff. But that's pretty much it. I'm making a video that I'm a little bit writer's blocked on, but it's going,
Okay.
and where I talk a little bit more in depth. But I'm having a great time. It's really fun, really interesting language. So
Nice.
2 thumbs up for me. What are you learning? How's your language learning?
I'm learning French. Um, so I my dirty little secret is I haven't actually studied any languages since really starting Refold. Um, like obviously like I got my Spanish up to a decent level, but then I just have been so focused on the business and the coding and whatnot that I kind of put language learning on hold. But it's really nice to get back into the language learner seat and get that experience again. I'm starting like pretty small, just doing Anki, and currently that's getting me like 12 minutes a day, which is very little.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, but it's been
It
almost
is language
two.
learning.
It is language learning.
It is language learning. Like that's a
It is.
statement. It's a statement. It's not a question. It's a statement. It is language learning.
It
You are
is. It
language
is
learning.
language learning. But it is minimal language learning. Um, so the uh, so yeah, the next step is to just integrate the actual immersion side of it. Um, but getting back into Anki has been interesting. It's my first time actually using one of our decks as a learner, and I'm actually very happy with the French deck. So
That's good to hear.
um, it's working reasonably well. Like the things are sticking. Like my review counts are increasing pretty slowly. Um, I'm 2 weeks in now, and I'm only spending 12 minutes a day on it. and it's working out great.
That's good.
At least for the first like 100 cards or so that I've done, there's only been like probably 10 or 15 cognates to Spanish that I've suspended.
Hmm.
Um, so I've also been a little surprised. I kind of expected there to be more. But maybe that happens later on once at the more advanced level, because I thought there was more carryover between the two.
I think a lot of them are already removed because they're also cognates with English.
Sure.
Um, but there's definitely more in the intermediate level. I think once you hit like card number 500, you'll probably have suspended at least 100 of them.
Yeah.
Um, but removing the English cognates as well just cuts down so many cards.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Um,
I'm thinking of going through the language transfer for French, just
yeah,
because he does a great job of sort of explaining the how the cognates what the cognate patterns are.
yeah,
So unfortunately, he doesn't actually like to document any of his things. He wants it all to be in audio.
yeah.
So I
Explicitly
might toss it into a
whisper.
Whisper, yeah,
Just
and
get it
just
written.
transcribe, get a transcript of everything, and just search for the cognates.
I don't think it would be a bad thing to do. Just the whole. It's not. There's 40 tracks.
Oh, just to listen to them all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I think you'd. I mean, you probably would want to like be able to see it and search through it and stuff. But like, I think it would be helpful. Um,
yeah. My
Even if you
experience of
just
doing it with
listened.
Spanish is that there's a lot of like practicing in it. So it's like he explains the concept, and then he like does a back and forth with the student
Yeah.
to like practice. And I did that the first time, did not find it like particularly useful. So I really just want the knowledge out of it, not the practice
Mhm.
parts. And so like, that would cut out probably like 2/3 of the time if I just focused on the knowledge side.
I'm sure I could transcribe it for you. And
Oh, sure. Yeah.
yeah. Are you using the writing deck that I put together?
I only did it
Not
one
even.
day so far. I've just
Okay.
been prioritizing the vocab deck, but I will get back to it shortly. Um, Probably pick it up again over the weekend.
Cool. Are
Yeah.
you having fun?
I am. There's a word for happy that I cannot even hear properly.
Yeah, okay.
Um, like the is there a chat here? Do we have a
Between
chat?
us, yeah.
Or I don't see it.
It's on the side. It's just
Oh,
this
there. Okay, got it.
les chat. Oh boy, that's a lot of letters.
Yeah,
Um,
and and none of them are pronounced.
eh.
It's literally like,
how do you say it? Or Wiktionary. Okay. Ugh,
ugh,
ugh.
ugh.
That's funny. Ugh.
I'm like, this is a very common word, and I cannot
Yeah.
like hear it properly.
Um,
I kind of wish I
ugh.
really wanted I need to add the note taking per action into the mobile app because I immediately wanted to be like, what the hell is this word?
Yeah, yeah.
Just like have that as my record.
There's so many letters in it. There's three sounds.
And the only consonant sound is a G.
Well, I know it's the R.
I know, but it
Okay,
sounds like a G to me.
sure. It does kind of sound like a
Ugh.
bit like the Spanish. Ugh. Um, yeah, I don't know. French is an interesting language. Yeah, when you asked about the I think it's called liaison or something like that, the where often consonants are missing, but they appear in some words when there is a correct like linking scenario. And you're like,
Mhm.
why does it sound like this? I go, aha, you've discovered the trap card of
I
French.
have.
Um,
I was like, oh, you just don't pronounce this. Oh, wait, no, you do. It's just you do it with the next word.
yeah, if somebody, this is like the anecdote of somebody posting on like r/conlangs. It's like, hey guys, look at my cool new conlang, and it's just like more it's just French. And they're
It's just
like, this shitty conlang, terrible conlang. It's like, it's actually just French. You go, terrible language. Yeah. No, it is actually really interesting, just like because of French's history and all these things, and sounds and everything. It seems very like a very fascinating language to study. So I
Yeah,
hope you have
it
fun.
seems very unlike uh there's like the sound system is just so foreign to me. Like
Hmm.
Spanish always felt like there were a few things that took a little acclimating, but it always felt like it was accessible.
You're also from California,
Yes, I
so
am.
it's like closer to home.
Yes, I definitely like hear Spanish more regularly. Um, but yeah, so far French has been like completely impenetrable with the sound system.
You're gonna have fun. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And the for the audience, the impetus for studying French was we got into an argument with some people on Reddit over how
Me?
long it takes. Sorry, I got into an argument with people on Reddit over how long it would take to learn French, specifically comprehension of French to a B2 level.
So reading and
Um,
listening only in
yeah,
French.
and um, from our mental model, uh, with like Anki and intensive immersion, we think you could do it in like around 300 hours. I think I said like 250 of like intensive and then like another 100 of like free flow. Um, and that seemed to make people very angry. Um, so I'm just gonna try it and see like what I can do. It turns out it's cool the French test, which the name I'm blanking on right now, allows you to take just the comprehension portion, which I think is
Yeah,
cool. I did not know that that was a thing.
it's like the TEOI. No, that's the English one.
No, that's
I
TOEFL.
don't know. Yeah, TOEFL, TOEIC, whatever it is. The FE, some French test.
Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, and I mean, just comparing with my experience with Mandarin, which is a very differently related language, it's not even close to Indo-European. Um, I feel like I've gotten very far in just 200 hours. Um, I don't think. I mean, there's no CEFR levels for Mandarin because it's a not a European language. But I
Sure,
almost
there's an
certainly feel
equivalent
like
system.
kind of it matches. There's the HSK system, but that's more. I believe it's uh, administered or like set out by the government.
Mhm.
I actually haven't looked to see if there's an as the standardized test of proficiency for non-native speakers, it's administered by the National Chinese Proficiency Test Committee. So yeah, it sounds like it's official. So like it has some focus on things that like I wouldn't consider to be important as part of like the CEFR levels. So yeah, it's more focused on like words and grammar points and things. So it's just laid out quite differently that I think it's hard to make a direct comparison. Um, it the actual comparison here apparently is about HSK 4 for B2,
Okay.
um, the oral test at least, um, and stuff. So I mean, because I know all the HSK 4 words at this point. So I mean, I don't know. Anyways, this is an aside. Um, but yeah, I'm
Great.
glad to hear that you're
So
having fun.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna put in 250, 300 hours, and then I'm gonna go take this test and see how far I get.
Great. Put it to the test.
Yes.
We have a visitor now. We have been
A
visited
kitty.
by a kitty kitty. He's it's not okay. It's not even close to dinner time. He doesn't. Um, I don't know why he's starting to meow, but he typically eats at 6 and it's 4:15.
Yeah.
Um, what was I going to say? I don't remember.
I don't know. You want to talk about what we've been working on?
Yeah, let's go to that.
Or
What have
also,
we?
do we have any questions in the chat?
One question sort of does relate to um, what we've been doing. Hello, just jumped in. I want to know if the current features would go away for the new ones. Um, I'm not positive what they were referring to by the current features or the new ones, um, but generally no. The new dashboard did like replace the daily study page and the old dashboard, but those were not nice features. And they have all the same features in them. It's just like laid out differently, and there's a little bit more to it. But generally, no, we don't undo features for new ones.
Yeah, I mean, we may choose to like rebuild certain things, like the chat interface sucks. I want to rebuild that entirely from scratch. But it would be a replacement for what already exists. It wouldn't delete
Yeah.
functionality. For the most part, like, I reserve the right in the future to be like, this functionality is not used and is annoying to maintain, so let's just delete it. But I think that would be a really rare thing to happen.
Hmm. If there's something truly obnoxious for us in the back end.
Yeah.
But all the stuff we have been adding has been on top of um, what exists right now.
Mhm.
Do you want to do show and tell or just tell and tell? Or how do you want to do this? So I think we can share screen on this.
Yeah, we can share.
Yeah. You want to go first?
Sure. What should I start with? Dashboard?
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing that was set live this in the last week or so.
Yeah. Share.
Oh, they're referring to the video about like the personal trainer stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yes, we do still want to build that. The problem that we have is that um, we need to make the tracker better and like more enjoyable to use and actually like meet people's needs. The AI personal trainer thing is absolutely still on the agenda, but the it is not an immediate focus because building it is large. It's like the final version that we want is like really quite large. And at least what we've seen so far is that the sort of demand for it is lower than we were expecting. So rather than building it as like a big feature that takes multiple months to build and release, we're just going to be taking the community feedback and our ideas of what we want to build and like integrating them. So, you know, the automated trainer will start out as something much simpler than is in that the original design. Um,
So like it
but
might be as I'm building out this reports dashboard, we get a simple reports dashboard. Then that could lead into it could look at your reports and go, hey, these are some suggestions just based on like a simple flow chart in the back end or whatever. And that could slowly get more complicated or more, not complicated, more intricate, give better suggestions, that sort of thing. But rather than, we're not going to try to pre-design everything, do one big like redesign that is all about this new thing.
yeah, so like reports is a perfect example. There are three different ways to measure your consistency that are already in the app or have been requested. And the different people care about different ones. And so like I want to make that configurable. Like which of these do you actually care about? And then once we know which one you care about, then we can provide you advice on like how to do that properly. But if we don't know what you care about, then we might flag the wrong or we might flag something as bad behavior or like an issue when it's not actually. So the example that I'm thinking of is habit health. So like you can think there's the current habit health, which is just the past 42 days. But then there's like consistency of am I actually doing things on the day that I intended to do them? And we've gotten a lot of requests of like, we want vacation mode so that it doesn't affect habit health because it emotionally hurts to like take a vacation. Um, so if our system
Which
is
is
set
the
up to be like,
opposite of the goal of a vacation.
exactly, right. And so if you want to set your goal as consistency rather than habit health, our current infrastructure would detect, oh, your habit's going down, you got to like get back into it. But you're like, no, I'm on vacation. I don't actually care about it right now. I'm okay with it going down. And so aligning the recommendations that come through with like what you actually care about is kind of like the missing piece there. And so we need to make it configurable enough so that you actually can specify the thing you care about so that we can provide you advice for that thing. So I think specifying what you care about is kind of the first step for us to be able to do anything else with it. And that step is not built yet. So,
Right. What is built?
all right. So, let's see, screen, window. Yeah, so this is the new,
Oh, hang on.
um,
Why? There we go. Can you zoom in a little bit? I think it's kind of small.
yeah, can I make it bigger? How's that?
Much better.
Cool.
It's still a little bit. No, no, actually, no. Hang on. Can you do like one more size up? Yes. I think that's good.
Yeah. So yeah, so this is a redesigned version of the daily study page, or the equivalent of the mobile app homepage. And some of these features have not been migrated to the mobile app yet. They will be soon. I think the big things are, so these daily tasks. This is a renaming of habits because we decided habits was a confusing name. But these are the things you want to do every day. Um,
Or
and you can,
not necessarily every day.
right,
Oh,
you can make them weekly, or you can specify specific days that you want to do them. But the new interesting thing is adding notes to them. So you can add quick links to wherever you want to go, to make it easy for you to do. And then, um, on the action side, you can add notes. So, for instance, I was studying French the other day. I'm like, this word is crazy to me. I want to like record
cool.
that somewhere. And so now you can record it, and it'll show up down here in this timeline of everything that you're doing. Um, Other fancy things are, actions get stacked now.
So fancy.
So they don't just like, um, and maybe we want even more stacking, but at least this is stacked by day. So we've gotten a lot of requests for that. I'm going to add that to mobile soon. Um, Other new things are one-off tasks. So if you have something that's not every day, but you just like want to do it one time, like read this article on French or set up your immersion browser, you can now add those as individual tasks. And then a top level current focus. We found that with our clients, it's really helpful to sort of have that top level, like, what are you working on? What is the goal right now? As a sort of focusing energy of like, oh yes, I am working towards a specific goal, and all these daily tasks are contributing to that. So yeah, it's a little bit of a nicer interface to use, and we'll be building out. This is the new, basically the homepage, and we'll be building out more functionality on this page, like adding metrics, adding a feed for your community, um, and other things like that.
Very cool. I have been using it and I like it. It's nice.
Cool. I have not seen any feedback on it whatsoever, so
Except for
hopefully
when I
people like it. If you don't
point out
like
a
it,
bug.
sorry.
I don't like how the task in daily tasks is lowercase, but it's capital in one-off tasks.
Ah, well, you can fix that.
No, no. Okay, I'll fix it.
Yeah, Ben has been doing a lot of coding for us, even though he's not a software engineer, thanks to the new world of AI coding that we live in, which has been very useful the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, but it's such a different experience though than what I would call like traditional vibe coding, thanks to all of the work that you're doing, which is
Mhm.
making it actually functional and be able to work in like this larger app. Um, and we were having a conversation about this earlier, but like the mindset difference of like being a developer in terms of like what you're thinking about the data flows or like how it's going to work, how things pieces are going to fit together, what you're doing, rather than actually sitting down and writing constant equals whatever, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm doing a lot more of that first, or I'm only doing that first thing because I really can't write code. I can write very, very basic Python. Um, but it's allowed me to do something like the, uh, hold please, I should have prepared this beforehand. Screen, window, Refold Academy. Is that what this is called? It is. Yeah, it's the right screen. Which has allowed me to add in a data export feature. So you
Yay.
can now export your data. You can either go to data export or the settings tab, and at the very bottom there's a link to it. And you're able to choose like the time range you want to export from, and then you have a bunch of fields if you want it to be included in the CSV that gets generated. I also made sure that like it tells you if you can re-import it in theory, right? And then it gives you a little preview and all that sort of stuff, and actually does work. It does export the data. It does respect your filters and everything, which is nice.
Mhm.
So you can back up your data or play around with it in spreadsheets if you want to do that, if you're so inclined. Um, and okay, that's all I really had to show with this. It's not actually as pretty of a feature, but it's
We've
functional.
gotten a ton of requests for export your data, so it's a very useful feature for people.
Yes. I think that's going to make people very happy when we can, instead of going, whoop, sucks to be you, we can be like, go to this page
Yay.
and export your data. The Is there anything else that I wanted to show? I don't remember.
Oh, we got a
Um,
list.
I know. This is the
Uh,
stop sharing button. No, no, that's the stop stream button. Don't hit that one.
yeah. The other stuff that I was working on is pretty invisible to the end users. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The password reset. You
yeah,
you don't want to show how you reset your password. Um,
I mean it's a little
oh,
funky
adding.
because
Go ahead.
it's a little funky because I just the mobile app now just directs to the web app to reset your password because I was like, we just need to get this done ASAP.
Yeah. Um, it's functional though.
But dude, it was so nice to rip out that code.
Oh,
It
good.
was like 2,000 lines of code or 3,000 lines of code. I'm just like, thank God.
For the old system, right?
The
The
old
old,
system,
yeah.
yeah.
Great. We did have to make it so that I could relog in with my really old account though, but
Hmm.
that also was we figured that out. So the other one is adding some new languages, and I'm able to now much more easily add new languages to the app, so people don't have to wait for a while if they want to study a
Send in your language requests.
yeah.
Ben can do it now.
If you're studying a small Native American language or something like that, I got you covered. Just let me know. Um, I also added in some ones that I noticed were missing that are not common, but like relatively learned. Um, and the other thing that it's not done, but that I'm working on is um, the not exports, basic reports on the web app,
Mhm.
so that you can visualize your data a little bit and get a rundown of how many hours and what you've been working on, that sort of thing. So that's in progress, but not done.
You know what we didn't include in the update that we should is the new decks that you've created.
Those are sort of they're not, but they haven't been QA'd yet. I haven't Nobody's like really gone
Yeah,
through
they're
them and
not ready for release, but like we should say like, hey, we also built these things. They're not ready for release, but we will at some point.
yeah. I mean, also if people want to test them, they can. That'd be
Also,
helpful.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
let people know like it's open for testing if they want to.
yeah, I built a Portuguese 1K deck. I believe it only has like half of the audio though, because we ran out of credits. Because I'm generating with 11 labs, and it sounds very good to me. I don't
You can just
speak
buy more
Portuguese.
credits. The credits are only $5 a month. So
Oh yeah, it renewed today.
yeah.
So we now have more credits. Swedish, I made a 1K deck for, and a phonetic writing system deck, because that was actually mostly done. That was pretty easy. And then I'm working on my version of a Mandarin 1K deck that I'm actually really that's the one I'm really happy with and proud of. Because my main issue with the community 1K deck that I used and Migaku's 1.5K deck was that the word selection was weird, is the big one. So the one in the community one was based on the HSK words.
Mhm.
And so there was like a lot of additional business stuff that I have not seen yet that is not useful. And a couple other ones that are, I think, just older words. They feel a bit outdated. Maybe I just haven't come across them in the right context yet, but I just don't think I was learning the best words. And then Migaku seems to have used a lot of like crime dramas, and so there was like four words for the word murderer in there. I was like, I don't need this. I'm not watching crime dramas. And then also other ones about like kidnapping and the police and all these things. I'm like, this is strange. Um, a couple have come in useful in a specific story that I'm reading on Do Chinese, but like I think that's mostly just a fluke.
Mhm.
Um, but So that was one reason I wanted to redo it. Also, I like our design better, honestly, the refold card design. So I changed that and how it was laid out. I also wanted to. A lot of the sentences were kind of boring. Many of them were like, "This is a dictionary. This is an apple." It's like that's not a good sentence for context. That's just this is a. Um, so I tried to make the sentences a little bit more dynamic, a little bit better, and I. Oh, and the last thing was like the not the like the easing you into characters, because something that I really like about the JP1K is how it at first it's like, okay, try to remember the reading. If you can't, that's fine, but like just try it. However, I think that doing that from the very first kanji is a little bit like it's a little bit too soon because like
Mhm.
you obviously don't know it. You know 5 words, and so with the Chinese one, because also every single word is a character, and so what I'm trying there is like there's like chunks of the deck where it's like starts with everything's exposed. It shows the pinging, shows the audio right away, and then it takes away the audio, which shows you the pinging. You have to remember it, and then you hear it. You go, oh yeah, and so it sort of
I
goes
guess
through
you're gradually
tiers,
removing.
right? And so by card 800, that's the point where you're actually like, okay, try to remember the reading if you can. If you can't, still fine. Like just pass the card if you remember the meaning with the pinging, but just try, right? So that sort of progression rather than a all or nothing approach, because that's what I did, but I had to do it manually myself with
Mhm.
changing the card type slowly. So it would have been nice to have it like already done for you. But
Yeah.
those are the 1K decks that I have
But you
built.
also worked on the Catalan one, right?
That was actually the proof of concept one at the very
Okay.
beginning. I only did 100 cards there, and that one seemed to have a good amount of problems
Okay.
because the thing with the new thing is that I'm generating a lot of it, basically everything except for like I'm finding some way to get the corpus and the 1K list. I'm trying to compare with things like so I'm trying not to purely generate it, but like paying a native for 100 hours of effort is really expensive. Is very slow, and
Hmm.
so finding a way just to prime the most common words is all that these are for. So generate it makes sense as long as it's not like really wrong. But
Yeah.
the Catalan ones seem to have like some just fundamental issues where it's like on card two, it's using la instead of el for the
It's a
gender or
bummer.
whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, the the Mandarin one seems great. I found no problem so far. I have not looked at the Portuguese one. Honestly, I don't know. And the Swedish one also seems very accurate and good so far.
Cool.
I did have an issue with like the word audio generation from a certain model, so I went with like an older Google one, which works great and is basically free. Did they give you like a million words basically before they charge you? So it's like, okay, I don't think I'm ever gonna get to a million words, but sure.
Yeah.
So that's been fun.
Cool.
I enjoy
Yeah,
that. So
that's great.
yeah.
And then the other deck you worked on was when I started doing our French reading deck, it didn't match the original designs that I laid out for it. And so Ben was kind enough to make a new deck for me with the structure that I want.
That was interesting as well, but a good exercise, I think. And I
Mhm.
definitely learned more about French orthography than I thought I ever would. Um, but I think the end result is pretty good. Obviously, there's some errors that I've already found, and like you found one as well, where it's like just using a different pronunciation. But I also am not sure that's a like what to do there because it's the standard pronunciation uses what it's supposed to like what it says there, but like what people actually say often is the one that you heard. So it's like,
Yeah,
what do you do there?
I think just throw an asterisk on it of like this might have it or not.
Question mark?
Yeah.
A question mark? Yeah. And then all French words are just like, oh, you can just make noises, right? It's just try. Oh.
Just add
Okay.
G's and O's.
Yeah. Oops, all G's. Oops, all O's. Oops, all vowels. Um, I guess the way that like you nasalize vowels for uh ends too, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, here's a good comment. Oops, sorry. This is something I've noticed as well with the tracker, like the when you go to put in the activity, which is a required thing for tracking, you get like 40 plus activities, and you're like,
Oh
oh my
yeah.
god. Um, because yes,
Yes.
and
Um, this has been on my to fix list for so long. Um,
you assigned me something in Basecamp that I couldn't really figure out.
yeah,
Um,
it was this. It was like, how do we make the activity selector actually usable?
yeah. So yes, we absolutely do care. We want to fix that. If anybody has like ideas on what would make the flow easier to understand and use as a new user, or even as a uh, pre-existing user, like I know what I'm looking for, but I've built this. I do this for my job. A lot of people go like, what'd you call that
Yeah,
kind of immersion thing again?
totally.
And I go, yeah, it's this.
Also, the
Um,
search results are weird. Like the order is weird, and
yeah,
sometimes the fuzzy find just like fundamentally breaks and
does the
returns
fuzzy
things
find?
it's not supposed to. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I hate that system. I want to rebuild it. So
Accepting recommendations for how to improve it, and we will do that. But I'll probably have to come back to it at some point and just like draw something because it's tough. Oh, the other thing that we added, the not really a feature, but the notes board
oh yeah,
that has been nice. And if people want to give feedback and share things outside of this, we now have a like a public. Oh yeah. Oh no, you added that. Okay. I
yeah.
was like somebody who's added that. But
Sounds
this is
good.
a we found this website thing that like is for this. It tracks feedback from users, lets you upvote things and add things. If you click on the link from in the web app or the mobile app now, it's a little bit easier to get to. But this is if you have issues or you want to complain about things or you want to see what other people have suggested we improve, you can upvote them. That's also how we're going to be uh, telling how we're going to be
Prioritizing.
prioritizing. That's a much better word. Prioritizing what to work on because right now the we can see the most requested feature is to customize your end of day. When does
Which
your
we
day
knew was
end?
possible, or we knew was important for people, but it's going to be such an annoying thing to build that I'm very happy to finally be fixing this because there's just fundamental problems with the way that we process dates that it just needs to be fixed and has needed to be fixed for a long time and is blocking customizable end of day. So I am very happy to fix it finally.
Yes. Also, we haven't mentioned that that is what we're going to be, what you're going to be doing next week, in the next couple of
Yes,
weeks. That is your goal. My,
I'm hoping I can knock it out next week
hopefully, that'd be great.
because I'm flying out to um, a
Colorado.
bit of a personal update. I'm going to Colorado because my one of my closest friends named me the godfather of his firstborn child. So I'm gonna go and play godfather and help them with a new baby.
Godfather
So,
Ethan.
but I'm doing that next. I'm leaving for that next Sunday, so I want to have this done by then, or at least to a state where I can like just like there's just cleanup afterwards.
Just don't get sent to Azkaban for
Oh
13
right,
years.
yeah.
Um, I think that's unlikely,
Coincidentally,
but
I can
you
turn
never
into a
know.
dog.
Yeah. Whoa. Um, so that's what you're going to be working on. I want
Yes.
to get done with the reports, the basic reports on the web app, so that I can get that to people, and then they can complain about how to make it better, and then I'll make it better.
Hooray,
Um,
planning.
and then what was the other thing that I was going to do? Oh, the blog. Um, we have a blog on our WordPress site, but it's
Do we
awful to.
actually like?
Yeah, if you go to refill.la/blog,
Okay,
um,
yeah,
it's
kill
just
that.
yeah, it's so bad to edit and add things to. It's horrid. And so I
Yeah,
never post there, despite wanting to write and make blog posts.
yeah. You know,
Um,
the thing that I'm so the other thing that I've been working on really heavily is trying to enable Ben to do more sophisticated software development by like
do more.
orchestrating AIs properly. And what I'm most looking forward to is killing our marketing website
Yes, me too. I dead.
because I think we're not that far away from like the two of us being able to just like divide and conquer and just like take on the entire system and just
World.
like knock it all out. So um, you moving the blog over is a good first step towards that.
Um, I agree. Getting rid of that. moving the courses in. There's so many things that are just going to make our lives better.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think the other interesting thing is what I was testing with and playing with migrating our old auth system. I think we can import all of the users from the marketing site into our new auth system too.
nice.
So like they'd be able to keep their accounts.
Yeah, because we have technically three different login things for different people.
Hey, only
Um,
two now.
no, Kajabi.
Oh crap,
I
that
mean,
too.
yeah, because
Yeah.
like basically for when I deal with tickets and things,
Hmm.
and someone's like, I don't know what my password is. I go, "Oh, sorry, but on which system? I know
Yeah.
this is our fault. I know it's not your fault, but I have to
Yeah.
go. What system is does it work on, or are
Yeah.
you
This
looking
is
for?
this is one thing where like, there's when you're building a business, you have to decide, are you going to build it or are you going to buy it? And building it was probably the right choice, but I like can't go back in time. But now it's definitely the right choice because everything is so much faster.
That's what I sort of heard was part of the reason for a drop in a lot of stock prices a couple like last week or something.
Okay.
Where a lot of people were starting to get worried about like what the purpose of WordPress or Wix or Squarespace is if you can just spin it up with AI.
Yeah.
Um, doesn't mean that they're
There
actually
probably isn't
invalid, but
one.
right. But it's like it's a lot harder to go like, okay, this is the purpose of Figma if it's if you can kind of just do it yourself, that it fits better for your team. Um, because like there's so many tools that are basically the same thing.
Hmm.
Like trying to just like for the like project management, for example, that is targeting like a different um, kind of team or a different area, but none of them are like perfect for your team, for your
Yeah.
use case.
Yeah.
And so
That's
like
always
so,
the annoying thing, right? Like you have to adjust yourself to the thing you
yeah.
buy.
But like what if you at some point could just like have an hour long meeting with your team, put that meeting into an AI, and then you get like the perfect project management tool out of it for your team,
Yeah.
or something like that. So
Super
yeah.
cool. It's a
Also,
new world.
yeah, definitely interesting. I don't know necessarily if cool is the right word, but it'll be very interesting for sure.
I think it's cool because it annoys me. Like the fact that all these systems like don't do what I want them to do really annoys me.
Yeah,
Like
you get to just fix it
one
yourself.
of the major problems that we had with Kajabi originally is like we couldn't sell our decks on it. So we
Oh
couldn't
yeah,
use it as our sole system. Like we had to set up WordPress too in order to sell things. And
I
it's
remember
like,
when I was
why?
given that task for like see if you can sell individual products on Kajabi, and I was like going through forums and things and go, it's kind of sort of maybe a little bit possible, but at the end of the day, we're just sending them a Google Drive link and like we're hacking it together. So it's like there
Yeah,
was no just here's a course you can sell.
yeah,
Even on WordPress, selling individual downloads was freakishly hard.
yeah.
Um,
And on Shopify
yeah,
which was what I originally thought it was going to be. They just didn't support digital downloads when I looked. It just
it's
like wasn't a thing.
so
It's like you,
strange.
but you have 99% of the infrastructure. Just add the extra 1%.
Just make it a drop down. It's literally
Yeah,
just no shipping required.
yeah. It'd be so easy. But no, they just didn't. So,
Um,
anyways, I'm excited for a future where when I run into those problems, I can just be like, screw it, I'm going to build it myself.
yeah, we're kind of already doing that.
We are literally doing that.
We're in that future. We just still have the old stuff in the
Yeah,
background.
for
Another
now.
question here from Magnets, which is for me mostly, but they would like a little quick Czech learning update. Um, and Czech has been going well. I have not been doing very much output because I've been focused a lot on reading because I realized that just the sheer value of extensive reading for learning is unparalleled. I read an absolute ton in Spanish and I really didn't in Czech, and I can tell. Like I'm at a good level for um like where I want to be and everything, but I just know I would know so many more words and be a lot more comfortable with like little grammar bits if I just read a lot more for fun. And so in the past month and a half or so, I've been reading way more. I'm almost done with my first like just pure free flow read novel on my Kindle, which has been great. And I'm glad that I made that switch, and I hope to do it a lot more and continue with that. I've also been really I've been trying to figure out the best way to learn highly complex morphology because Czech, it's not like I'm not trying to say it's a harder language. It's just way more complex than any language I've come across. Like a lot of there's just so many moving parts. The endings are different in non-standard ways. There's so many different genders and cases, and it applies to um, the nouns, but also the adjectives, and then also the pronouns and everything. It's just so many moving pieces that make it really hard to be accurate if like you don't know exactly what you're doing. Like Czech kids need to like learn a lot of these things as well because some of them are not actually represented in the spoken language, but that's a different conversation. Um, and so, Hanky, can you please stop stealing my stuff while I'm talking? He wants, he's anxious or feisty. You can have that. You know what? I don't care. Um, and so I've been looking into like how do you actually learn to accurately produce this grammar? Because I'm more accurate than just guessing, but I've still got a lot of things that I can improve. Certain genders are harder than others, and that sort of thing. Um, and so I'm working on a way to learn um, and produce that sort of complex morphology. I came across a really good PhD thesis by a Russian teacher, or I guess a Russian speaker who wanted to like basically do this. And so I've been trying to incorporate that into my own learning, and it's been really interesting so far. But I had to go a little bit further with it and do a little bit more reading to see if it's actually like working. But that's been sort of my focus right now. But it's fun. I've just been doing more interactive as well with YouTube and listening, which has been nice as well because I sort of was being a bit lazy before. I estimate that like 25% of all my Czech hours were not well spent um, because I was doing just like way too much, mostly comprehensible free flow that wasn't really pushing my level or my ability in any way. So yeah, yeah. The endings are never ending for sure. It's very frustrating when there's just like there's so many, and it could be harat, but also haradu or haradu are different, but then also it's not the same, and so many things.
Yeah.
Um,
One of the things, have you ever used Quizzic?
um, I've opened the site. I know what it is, but no, I'm not used it.
So they had this concept. I didn't actually really like the platform, but I liked the idea behind it, where it's basically just a map of the language. And so you, the entirety of the language is sort of like mapped out as a graph. And as you study different portions, it like fills in the graph.
Hmm.
And it kind of sounds like what you're talking about with sort of getting all of the different potential combinations. Um, and you struggling with some of them, but not other ones. And if you could sort of, um, going back to my idea of sort of like perfecting a language,
Mm-hmm.
if you could track all of those things and understand like which ones you're good at and which ones you're bad at, so that you could like really narrow your focus, I think that'd be really, um, it would help to make the study process much more efficient because you could just like direct all of your time and energy to the things that need it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting because excuse me, what I'm doing right now is they call it like a spiral curriculum where
Mhm.
the idea is that you sort of get increasingly complex, but you also like re-go over things with sort of the space repetition model. Um, but I wasn't about to design a whole Czech grammar learning plan because it's a big language, right? There's a lot of things to go over. And so what I'm trying to play with is like
Plus,
this
you
like
already know a bunch of it, right?
yes, I understand all of it perfectly fine. Like when I
Right.
see it, I can be like, that is the sixth case plural masculine animate or whatever. But like it's producing it in speech or in writing and going, yes, that is the right one. It's and this one I have to do mnie spelled with an N, and this one I do mnie spelled without an N, or this one's me versus mnie, right? So like there's all these little tiny things that it's like just hard to produce. Um, and so this spiral curriculum idea is just going through everything that I do know often, but trying to make sure that I'm doing it correctly and also implementing things that I've learned and getting more complex over time. And so, like, uh, the first like the first couple. I've done 9 lessons so far from this system, and like a lot of them are pretty easy, right? It's like the masculine animate versus inanimate in the accusative singular, but that's pretty narrow. And so there's like 80 of these lessons in this curriculum that I am trying out. I'm trying out this idea where essentially I had AIs email themselves back and forth like a dozen times to try to come up with this curriculum because I don't want to do it myself and this doesn't exist for Czech. It's pretty, the curriculum is actually pretty good. The problem is the actual lesson generation frequently has like obvious errors. It's like, this is a feminine noun. And then it's like, here's an example, masculine noun. You're like, I know that's wrong.
Yeah.
So they're still dumb AIs, right? Obviously. But it's actually still helpful because like I know what I'm doing. And so it just sort of tells me to do it. I'm like, you're stupid. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do it right. And so it's actually still kind of helpful in that sense.
Hmm.
But I do wish it was a little bit more accurate, but it's helpful that it's like getting me to focus on these things and improve and focus on the individual patterns that I haven't actually practiced producing at once, right? So I didn't necessarily sit down and go, all right, can I actually produce the masculine, animate, singular, accusative? And I go, actually, yeah, but it's good to think about it, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing right now with Czech and
Yeah,
output at
makes sense.
least. Um, but I'm still having fun with Czech, and I am mostly ready for my visa to actually move there.
Do
I just
people
need
know
to.
that you're moving there?
I don't know. I think so. I think I talk about it in like the Discord server, but we haven't done a live stream in like 9 months.
6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 months. Um, but I will be going to school there, and I'm pumped. I'm so excited. I'm definitely ready to get out of here, go to Europe, and live in the land of the beer. But I do need to. Some of the visa stuff is such like I don't want to say bullshit, but it's like why,
Why do
why?
you make it so hard?
Yeah, why? Not hard, just frustrating, annoying. Like I need the physical document that the school sent me. I need that physical. The PDF doesn't work. You need to get you need to have like proof of residency 6 months before you're going to go pre-visa. How are you going to get rent an apartment or something? Thankfully, I have a friend who was very, very nice, but he also was like, he looked into it, goes like, this is bullshit. Why would they need this from you? Um, so, but I'm going to be applying hopefully in a couple weeks, right? I have to get the passport photos and all that stuff. So, but I'm really excited, and
Nice.
the things are coming together. I will be studying. For actually, the first year, I'm just going to be doing a Czech prep course for studying in Czech because you can go to school completely for free in Czech in the Czech Republic, right? They don't charge for university if you study in the Czech language, and they offer prep courses because like formal Czech and all these things, it is helpful to prep, and so I'm doing that for a year first, and then I'm going to be studying linguistics because I kind of knew that since I was like 16. So I had no other ideas. Like, what else would I study? I have no other interests that I really want to pursue. And I was like, nah, that doesn't make any sense. What am I going to do? How am I going to work in language? And then I'm here, and I'm like, okay, now I really want to do it. I really want to specialize in SLA and actually like maybe produce research and pursue this a lot more. And so I'm going to be formally studying linguistics in the Czech Republic, hopefully soon. And I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you.
Yay. We love being excited for me. Um, I've never been a fan of Anki, but since he recommended it and kept pushing it, I gave it a try. Now I actually love the results. I'm learning new words so much faster thanks to Refold Team. That is a lot of people's experience. I read a paper about Anki in like a Spanish university class or something, and it was like basically the results are the people that use Anki more did much better in the class, but almost everybody didn't like it. However, the people that stuck with it learned to love it because of the results. And so it was a very interesting result because it's like, yeah, that's kind of nobody really likes doing Anki. I mean, I do, but the results that you get from it and the vocab growth and just the sheer benefit do kind of outweigh that like, oh, I don't want to review vocab right now. But it's just helpful.
Yeah, it's super powerful. I personally think it would not be that difficult to make it a pleasant experience. And like one of the things, like once we have our dev process working really well and like we've shipped a bunch of this stuff, I really do want to try building a new interface, either as just like a straight new interface for Anki or like our own SRS, just to like experiment with like how do we make this a more enjoyable experience? Um, because like I I remember my first time using Anki and being horrified at it and like hating every minute of it. Um, the styling of our cards, I think, is like a much nicer experience. That's like a really basic upgrade. But I think the making it feel more like a a modern app
Hmm.
that people like expect like a certain level of animation, a certain level of like smoothness with it, um, and removing a lot of like the configuration aspect. If we just did those two things, it would make Anki much more usable to like the non-Anki initiated. Um, and
The
now that they've got that a new announcement, like they said they were going to start working on UX. We'll
maybe that
see.
gets better. Yeah, the
Maybe.
fiddliness and like setting up, like getting in the settings. If you don't import it right, it doesn't actually import the settings. Like you don't actually have the FSRS
Yeah, it's just like a,
enabled, or you don't. Yeah,
it's such like
it's
a like you have to be a power user from day one in order to make it work properly.
and a lot of my clients have really liked it when I just like go, all right, we're going to set up Anki for you right now. And
Yeah.
5 minutes later, they have it perfectly set up. They go, oh, okay, this is actually quite nice.
Yeah.
And all they have to do is now open it and study because that part is kind of fun. Once you have like the nice cards, sure. The other hard part
Gestures
is
were the
like,
big thing for me. Like
what was?
once I had
Oh yeah,
gestures rather than
yeah,
hitting buttons, like I was like, oh, okay, this is much easier now.
yep. Gestures. Or when I study on my computer right recently, and I
Hmm.
have just a this is just a crappy like a NES USB remote from that I bought online, and it just maps and I just do it with that instead of like having to click the buttons or use the keyboard, and I just can sit back in my chair and do it. That's all I got
Yeah.
to do. Right? It's so much nicer to do. Um, and then also there's also a couple things about like knowing how to use Anki, so you can like incorporate tips and things like that sort of thing. But um, yeah, I think we can, if we wanted to, we can make it a way better experience.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We will
glad that
see
it's
how
working for you.
effective our like development process becomes. I'm optimistic, but like we're not anywhere near that yet where we can like spin up another app.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, do you want to show off your coursing app?
Oh, sure. I love my coursing app. Um, let's see. Let me open it in my. This is something that I've been working on. That is kind of functional. Wait, what am I gonna do? Screen share, window. This is this visible? Yes. I have to put you guys over here. Okay. So I wanted a better way to chorus because it's using Audacity is not great, and chorusing.com is not great either. And so I've been working on an interface for it that actually, like the nice thing is the actual choruser. The big problem is the auth system. Uh, we're going to try to get rid of that and move it on the Refold one because it just doesn't work often.
Because it's a fifth system.
It's a what?
It's another system.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Um, but because I was doing this on my whatever, and so you can add and find clips. I've actually been like bulk editing them on my computer. I'd love to add that as well. I don't know how to do that on web yet, but the idea is you have clips and then you can sort them. I'm adding a way where you can like upvote them to make it easier to find because like just this naming scheme is not great. There's like a clip creator and that kind of thing to make it easier to make them. That one works pretty well, but it's just slower. I prefer the auto. I'm actually going through an entire video. And then the actual interface is much nicer because you can select sections. The R button will replay it. So I'm pressing R right now. You can like focus in on little sections. You can slow down the speed of the clip. You can upcrease the audio or up or down increase. Downcrease is not a word.
Increase, down,
Or
decrease.
decrease. You can increase and decrease the volume.
Are you forgetting English?
Maybe. You can, and there's also, if you have a transcription for it, you can practice with the transcription. This is what I've been using a lot. This is fantastic. So I'll like listen to the whole thing. I'll write out my transcription, and then I'll check the answer, and I'll see where I missed like little fiddly bits, right? So if it's like, oh, it was actually this ending, not this ending, right? And then I make sure I can hear that. The current transcription is coming like from YouTube, so sometimes it's just wrong, and I go, I know that's wrong. But it's really been helpful, and I really like the use of hotkeys is my favorite thing, because I just sit there, I have my fingers over R, and like T shows the transcription, because and I can just go through it and I can replay it. I can set it to loop. So that's really it.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah. If the auth system worked, it would be so much nicer.
Well, now that I've ripped apart the auth system and simplified it, we should be able to extract it pretty easily. So.
Yay! We can make my chorusing app more usable. You can try it and see if it works. It is on chorusing.app. The only issue is that it's you might have bugs, and if you do, that sucks.
Actually, you can, even without like integrating it into our actual database, you could just use the Firebase auth system.
We should talk about that.
We'll talk about that. Yeah.
All right. My voice hurts, so I'm gonna go.
Okay. Do we have any other questions before we
the last one here is anything specifically for Korean? No, not specifically for Korean. Hang on, please. Somebody wants me to go. The only thing is like I have a client that's learning Korean, and I had to look into some stuff for them, and it just seems like Kimchi Reader is one of the best immersion learning tools that exist, and it only works for Korean. So you've got plenty of stuff as a Korean learner already, but no, we have no specific updates for Korean. Okay.
Cool.
Any parting words? Oh,
thanks everybody for attending live. And anybody who's watching the recording, also thank you. If you've got any
no thanks to you.
No thanks.
Why weren't you here? Why weren't you here live?
We'll be back here in 3 weeks because both Ben and I are going on trips to various things. And if you've got any recommendations or feedback or requests or complaints, we now have the Nolt board. We get notified by email every time you post.
Or comment. I get
notifications
email
just
own
inundated.
Yeah. Somebody spamming. Oh.
Super helpful for us. We are going to try and be building things very quickly because we've got a lot of ideas. And as I mentioned, like AI has made a lot of this much more accessible. So we are looking forward to it.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great
weekend.